Hey everybody, how are you? Happy Sunday. Give me a second here. I am going to go and share on all the socials that we're about to go live with Couper. Well, we are live with Couper. She's waiting. She's online from her RV in San Francisco. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, beautiful bouquet. What happened here? A year's worth of ice cream. Oh, I don't know. Oh, YouTube fed an ad. So, cool. Now let me go. I am getting a delay somehow. I am sorry about the technical difficulties. We will get back to normal soon. Oh, I think the delay was on your end. We're going to do this live with Couper from San Francisco. Bam. And we have that. Internet's a little slow today. We'll get a bunch of people on here. So what's really cool, let me get to you. I'm sorry. It might be Wi-Fi on your end. We'll see. We'll just get right to it. Okay, I am live. I just haven't introduced you. Hey, everybody. I'm also talking to Couper. So let me go here and yeah, I'm getting echo from you, which is the issue. I don't know if you have headphones. Cool. So everybody. Oh, we lost Couper. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Are you back? Okay. You're frozen. I am not seeing you at all. I'm seeing you frozen. No, you're frozen. Let me call you right back. Okay, sorry folks, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Okay, we're calling her back. This is the first time Couper has used Skype. There she is. All right. Okay. And you're frozen again.
So you're frozen.
Yeah, that's on your end. It must be the Wi-Fi.
Okay. I have it on my hotspot.
Yeah, but it's frozen for some reason. You're flat out. Hold on, folks. You're there. You go. All right. You are, but it's. Let me see.
Yeah, it's like real spotty on.
Yeah, you were there better before. Whatever you had before was working better. Well, you're absolutely frozen. Yeah, you're okay. Okay. Yeah. Call me back. Okay. Oh, there you are. Are you good? Now you're there. Don't touch a thing. Okay? Oh no. Oh no, now you froze again. Yeah, go back out and come back in. Okay, bye. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Sorry about the technical glitches. Couper has never used Skype before. She's calling in from her RV in San Francisco. She's currently homeless. If you go down in the description, you'll find links to Couper's GoFundMe, links to a documentary movie you can watch out about her on Amazon, and you can just trying to recover here, trying to and there's also the VR 180 feature that we did. Okay, she's calling again. Let's see, is this gonna work? Okay, where are you? There you are. You just froze on me again. Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Everybody hold on. Okay, she is trying to call back in. And let's see how this is going to work. Reconnecting, there's a poor connection. Okay. So, the best laid plans don't work sometimes, right? So let me go here and sorry about this. Everybody, she's going to try. And we're going to do it again. Okay. She is totally gone. Okay. Okay, we'll try one more time. Hello, hello. There. It looks better. Let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, you are too. So let me quick. Hopefully, now you're going to have to tilt it down. We're only seeing the top of your head. There we go.
The connection that I'll have to move it. I can't move it a certain way because then it'll. Is that good though now?
Yeah, now you're good. And okay. Hey everybody, meet Couper. We did it. We did it. You know, it's a miracle. In fact, I found this here. So
we can't stuff. We can't do stuff right.
Yeah. Hey, again, happy Sunday. Let's just start from the beginning. Happy Sunday. We're going live with Couper. I'm sorry about any technical difficulties that we may have had. Let's hope we can, those are behind us, and let's just hang out and talk with Couper. So, hey Couper, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Now that we figured out the technical difficulties, but I'm good now.
You might want to tilt down a little. You're cutting off your chin. You're still, There you go.
If I tilt it, because the internet,
perfect.
I'm going off the.
Perfect, right there. Perfect. Yeah. So, for those people that don't know about you, why don't you give us a little background, how you were a firefighter and then what happened, and you know how you ended up living in a tent and now in an RV.
I just want to say hey to everyone. Hi. So all this this life of mine that I live now, it was thrust upon me because of a negative situation. I was a firefighter. That was a positive situation, but I got hurt on the job. And that ended my career as a firefighter, which I loved that job with every ounce of my being, and it took a lot away from me when I couldn't do that anymore. Um, I had a lot of training and a lot of things that like meant a lot to me, and I felt like I was never going to use those skills really to. And I just felt like I was kind of like lost. And after I was married to my wife for 10 years, and we lived in nice little spot here in San Francisco in Diamond Heights. After we had separated and divorced after those 10 years, that led me, because she's a civil litigation, she works for the biggest civil litigation law firm in the country. Well, I lost everything pretty much, my condo, my car, my everything, and that led me to the streets of San Francisco, and into the Women's Drop-In Center, which is a 24-hour drop-in. And from there, there were women there that I saw that were suffering and that were having medical issues that weren't being treated. And so I started just, from Band-Aids to aspirin to whatever it was, just small little things, helping out those women. I just saw a need for that, and that people didn't ask for help from people, or go to the hospital. So it just came to be that like I would help them. And so that's kind of where that small little bit of my bad situation actually turned out to be a good situation, where I was now helping people. And I feel like I could use my skills, even in a small way at that point, to help my community, and also to make those people feel, like someone cared. Also take care of their wounds and the things that they normally wouldn't get care for. So and then word of mouth spread, and more people started coming to me, and I would start going to encampments and going to different places, and gained a lot of trust and a lot of important. A lot of things happened because of me doing that. For people, it gave them a lot of trust. Seeing that they could trust someone, and being they could go to someone for help, was the biggest thing for me. That was so positive and so cool, that normally these people would suffer not going to get the care that they needed, and then I could provide that was amazing, and is amazing. So that's kind of how it all started, in those quick little synopsis there.
So how long have you been homeless in San Francisco?
This little stint, it's been a little less than 5 years. And like I said, I started off after the divorce. I stayed on friends' couches and hotel. I depleted my savings and my retirement from the fire department of just trying to survive. And after that was all gone, and I and friends, I couldn't stay at anyone's spot anymore. Led me to the drop-in, and then from there led me to a tent, because I wanted to be able to lay down. Like and in the drop-in, you sleep in a chair. It's not a shelter; it's a drop-in. So I went and got a tent, and I could lay down in my tent. I was in that for a couple years, and then I was able to get enough money to save up to get an RV, which is where I live in now.
Huge difference between a tent and an RV.
Huge, yeah. The locking the door is the biggest like thing. Like, people take so many things for granted when you live inside, and that was one thing I noticed, and I feel a lot safer, a lot more like, because I'm a woman out on the street out here, and it's like it's hard. And so when you have that ability to lock a door, is tremendously like comforting, So.
Well,
yeah.
you were when I was there. I mean, even an RV can be challenging, because you have to have a safe place to park. You risk of being towed. I think when I was there, like maybe a short time before that I visited you, an Uber driver slammed into the back or something, right? And your bathroom was out of commission for some time. So even in RV is still homeless.
Yeah, I'm in a big metal tent. I always tell people, it's a mobile tent, because I'm still in litigation with those people at the Uber, because the Uber driver wrecked into the back of my RV and smashed the whole backside where my bathroom. I can't take a shower. I can't use my bathroom, and messed up my gas line. So my propane line. So he leased it from Uber, and Uber leased it from Getaround. So that's three entities in court that each one doesn't want to pay. So, but this guy smashed his car in and walked away, and took off. but left his car on my bumper. You know what I mean? So that leaves me screwed. You know what I mean? So and people don't realize, like, hey, this is my home. You know, and so I need to be back to what it was before you smashed into it because you're irresponsible. So yeah.
Right. And for those of you watching, the first link in the description, and I just shared it in the chat, is Couper's GoFundMe. It's hers. All the money goes directly to her. I am not a middle person. It is just to help her. So I know lots of people are unemployed, and I know, Couper, you probably don't. Many of the people in the chat are currently homeless. Even our moderators are either formerly homeless or, and so if you can, please help Couper out. She's amazing. So tell me about homelessness in San Francisco. I travel a lot, and I find homelessness in San Francisco just a little, I don't know. I can't, and we've discussed this. It's hard to find the right word, but I think people are at a lower. I see people in a state of desperation and just hopelessness that I don't see anyplace else.
Yeah, it. That's one thing that affects me. I'm a Pisces, so I'm very in tune with people, and I'm very sensitive. And sometimes, but like when I see the suffering and people like not having anything to depend on or any structure or stability in their life because they don't know how to, they don't have the support they need, and they've been let down over and over and over again. And that's what San Francisco is doing to its residents. Is like they're acting so distant and so uncaring that it makes people not want to trust or want to keep ever asking for help from the city because they leave them high and dry. So there's a lot of like suffering that is happening because our city leaders don't want to do anything about it. You know what I mean? And because it's not affecting them. But you know what I mean? So it's like people that like they always say, San Francisco always throws this around that the people are service resistant. That we're offering services, we're offering this, but the services are resistant to us because we're not service resistant because you're not making it easy to access, and that's what so many people have asked for help from the city and they're just left. Yeah. But it's a big clusterfuck of no one getting anything. Nothing positive is happening. There's no positivity, so they give up. And that giving up is like that leads them to nowhere, and so.
I say it like this, that there's a feedback. I think it might be coming from you listening. Don't worry, we'll work. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. People aren't service resistant. Services are people resistant. And
exactly.
Couper, just so you know, Couper did the first F-bomb of the night. And no, you're fine. And before you start these things, YouTube asks you a couple of questions, and one is there going to be F-bombs, and I selected yes. So if you YouTube very graciously funded the little short documentary. There's 2 links in the description. There's 3 first is their GoFundMe. Second is the VR 180 I did with YouTube. And third is the documentary on Amazon that features her called Couper is Here. So watch that. And what's interesting to me is Couper, is one of those people that speaks from her heart, and that can be F-bombs. And so Google's lawyers, their team of lawyers, had to have it approved, and I was so worried they were going to make us, bleep her. But that's how you talk. That's how some people talk. So, it's, I'm just glad that they left it in.
Because I don't hold anything back,
Right.
Tell it like it is because I don't have time for BS, and it's like people should know what they need to know, and be truthful and honest, and people know where they stand, and it's a realness, and I don't, and if I don't express myself from my heart, then I'm not being me,
Yeah.
But
Can you
I try to be cautious of the words I use. So, yeah.
now that California is under, I don't like the term lockdown, but quarantine. Yeah, I didn't do a lot of time, but I did enough where lockdown just bothers me, right? It's a stay at home, it's a quarantine, it's not a lockdown. But because
Yeah.
restaurants are closed, because restrooms are closed, and homeless people don't have water, they don't have food, they don't have restrooms, they don't have that street traffic that they once
Yeah.
had. What's the oh, you got a visitor behind you, your cat.
Yeah, I know, it's Maison. He wants to be all up in the mix. Maison, stop. He wants me to play with him, and he keeps biting me.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not paying him attention. So
Star of the
go
show.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So what's it like now? I mean, what are the streets of San Francisco like now with this corona crisis?
Well, it's definitely. I've noticed a lot more fear fear from the home towards the homeless. Like it's like before. I mentioned this a few times that it sucks being unhoused. But like and people's distance factor is increased like tenfold. Like people aren't coming and giving donations. People aren't interacting with us. People are keeping their distance. Like I said this on the other chat I did, that they're hold on, Mizan, sorry, that they're acting like we're sick, like, so they're keeping even more of a distance, and with all the businesses and stuff closed, it is very, very hard for folks to even get food, or even like you use a restroom, and it's very dehumanizing, and it's very like hard for like I tell housies and stuff that like when they ask where they go to the bathroom, people go to the bathroom here. Well, they go and like cut off a Gatorade, thing, or a can, or what, and then they dispose of it. How they dispose of it. But because there's no bathrooms out there, the city just started putting hand washing stations around, but they have not put one near an encampment. It's all in different, like away, like 4 or 5 blocks from an actual encampment. You think you're gonna put the hand washing station, put it near an encampment. So that part doesn't. I don't get it. And then they have porta potties, but the porta potties are manned, the 24-hour ones. But then the guy, when you go to use the bathroom, he's like banging on the door after 2 minutes. So people can't even like use the bathroom in peace. So it's like, so it sucks, and it's making people really try to find those little things that they do to survive. Because most people that panhandle or that fly a sign, they're barely making it because there's nobody out really. Unless you're. So it's gotten a little hard. Even the cops. I made this point too. The cops aren't even interacting with us. They're talking over the loudspeaker. They're not even rolling their windows down. They're not even interacting with us whatsoever. So it's like I had an argument with the cop over the loudspeaker because I'm like, what? I was acting like I didn't hear him, and he's over the loudspeaker saying, "I know you can hear me." I'm like, what? I can't hear you. Just 'cause I want to see if they get out of their car just to interact with us, what they're telling us to do. Wow. But they didn't. They stayed in their cars. So it's those little things, those little things that like, and it's also just being very, people are just being a little more cold. It seems like, just that distance, is affecting people, and trust me, it's commented on and told to me, like people's feelings are getting hurt. Actually, they come up to me, man, this is effed up, Coop. Like people are looking at me like I'm even more like. If I was trash before, I'm like the worst kind of trash you could ever imagine. Someone said that to me the other day. I was like, whoa, wow. And people aren't stopping to think that how they look at you just because you happen to be unhoused doesn't mean you're a horrible person or you're just whatever. But it's, the stigma is way more aggressively like unhuman right now.
And you brought up that's heartbreaking. One of the things that I am going to address is in a comment. Speaking of stigma, is the editor here said, from experience, homeless people spend their money on drugs and ciggies. Most drug addicts never end up homeless. They have a house or a condo. Most people with mental illness never end up homeless. They have a house or a condo. This stigma that homeless people are all drug addicts. Yeah, in areas like the Tenderloin, Skid Row, there's a higher concentration of addiction because that's where the services are. But those people are human, and people use drugs to escape pain. It's just drives me crazy, the stigma that people have about homelessness. And as Couper just said, now, I think it was last week, didn't we talk about cooties, right? And now, it's homeless people have the cooties, even worse because they're scared of the coronavirus. Even police are doing it over the announcement in a megaphone instead of getting out of their car. That's crazy.
Well, one of the things about that stigma is that that's one thing that, like, what I do, like, out on the streets, I deal with different encampments throughout the city and different people. And the thing is like, what the city is doing is, I always use this as an analogy, that, like, the city has a ball, right? They're throwing that ball around, they're passing it to each other, and they're putting what homelessness is in that ball. You know what I mean? Like, that you're a drug addict, that you're this, you're that, all these things that they think that homelessness is. Instead of actually coming out and asking us a question or saying, hey, what services do you guys need? Or what is it that we can do to help you? They're making up our minds in their own mind. They're telling us what we need. And within that, instead of it being an individual case-by-case basis of what homelessness is or what I am or what so-and-so is it's not done like that. All homeless people are drug addicts. Well, I'm not. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. I don't even drink coffee. So, like, what does that put me? I mean, I'm a disabled firefighter. Like, what about me? I'm looking for housing. It just doesn't exist. So if everyone's a drug addict and everyone's an alcoholic or whatever, then what am I then? Like, I'm homeless, so what? So I'm an in-your-face kind of person. Like, so what? Well, that is not true because I'm homeless. So, and it makes people think like, oh, shoot, maybe all homeless people aren't the same. So I want to get rid of that stigma too, because that drives me nuts. Yeah. Like, you guys are all who just use that money for drugs. Well, no, actually, I would use that $5 for milk and cereal. You know what I mean? Like, so I always try to throw that back at people, like, this is the negative things they put with it. And it's so frustrating. Like, are you that, like, unknowledgeable that you really think that? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? So I try to put something that makes sense in their mind, whoever it is that I may be speaking to, because, like, come on, you can't be that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask a couple more questions. Gene in the chat just made a comment that you're awesome. If you have questions for Couper, hold on to them in a second, because otherwise, if you type them in now, and I won't see them. So I'm just going to ask her a couple more questions, and then we'll go to your questions. So just hold on to them, and we'll get to all of them. Time allows. So, Couper, this coronavirus, COVID-19, I mean, in the shelters, dorm-style living is dangerous. It's been, I see advocates pushing for the mayor to, open hotel rooms, and it's a struggle. Same with LA. Tell me about that. What is going on? Why are they being so stupid, not willing to help people?
That is what I'm flabbergasted by, because it's like, London Breed, she's just on my bad people list. I would curse at that point right there, but I'm gonna hold back. But
you can curse all you want. I already selected the F-bomb, so let her rip.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, good. So London Breed, like, she doesn't know what it's like to be out here, so therefore she doesn't get it. So even though she says she's from wherever she was from, where she grew up, but she doesn't have any, like, real understanding what it's like to be homeless. So she ignores that whole homeless factor in her city. But, and I say this a lot as well. The only difference between housing and us is that they have a roof over their head. We're all San Francisco residents. You know what I mean? And so, but she doesn't see us like that. So if she doesn't see us as anything, we're more of a disturbance, an issue in a negative way rather than anything that she can see positive. So that right there, that her stigma goes down to everyone else below her. And our city leaders, they don't know what it's like either. Most of these guys come from privilege and whatever it may be, it's not important to them. And so, the big thing with getting the homeless and unhoused into the hotels, a lot of people won't go into them, don't go into the hotel, because you know why? They don't trust the city. And so why it's a good idea, but half the people aren't going to go inside.
Yeah.
Even offered a hotel room.
Well, it's more dangerous. You don't trust the city. There's no storage. I saw the rules. Kelly, who we're both friends with, posted a list of rules that nobody it is prison. It is not going into a whole room. Yeah. You can't even leave the hotel room except for one 3-minute period to go outside and smoke. And it's just crazy. So go on. You know firsthand better than I do.
And I brought this to the attention several times to when I've been dealing with city leaders as well as in the media that I use this analogy a lot, that I don't think that they're down there at, the waterfront at so-and-so's Mr. and Mrs. Smith's house and telling them who they can have over and who they, when they can leave or when they can't leave. If they need to go to the store, they can go to the store. But they have there's all this security and all this security force to not let us, the people that are in hotels, not letting them out. And the biggest question I have that I've been asked all the time is that if I do go in the hotel coop, what can I leave? Can I, what can I bring my dog? Can I do, there's they watch us, they monitor us, and they pay attention to every little thing we do. Like we're a bunch of babies. Like we don't know, like I said this last week, that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. So there's that whole thing. And one of the hotels down the way, one person that I know that's in there said that on her floor, there's 2 exits, 4 sheriffs on each door, and then 4 in the lobby, and then 2 out front. Why the fuck do you need all that? Like, why? That much.
Oh my gosh! This is. Oh my gosh! Wow! I want to come and do a more in depth on that, because nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about. You know what? And we're going to have to. Invisible People's going to have to do some reporting on it. But it's totally crazy that we take humans, and let's be real. The reason that there is support for homeless people in hotels is not all of a sudden they cared about homeless people. They're worried about public safety. They're worried about themselves. They're not worried about homeless people. They're worried about it spreading.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark, with that is like I've said this prior to, that we're not the ones sick. We aren't the ones infecting each other. I don't know one person of all the encampments I go to and all the people I know that has been sick. The only people that have got sick that I know of that is down the street was at the navigation division. The one that 70 plus people that was brought in by a worker, and then that worker is the one who infected everyone and got all the homeless folks sick. So it's like everyone that I know, everyone's healthy as can be, no problems, no issues, and it's the houses and the people they're the ones infecting us. So if anything, we need a barrier from if we deal with them, we need protection from them. You know what I mean? So it's like the other way around. They're like, oh, the homeless this and the homeless that. No, you guys are the ones infecting everyone. You know what I mean? So they need to stop blaming and act like we're doing some like weird shit. Like, no, we're healthy as all can be. So that's the other thing that drives me nuts. Like, and with that whole like staying away from us thing, like I'm staying away from you. Like, where's my mask? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like that whole weird distance thing for no reason is we should be concerned, rather than them concerned of us.
guys, if you got questions for Couper, now's the time. Put it in the chat. I will ask what I can. You say housies. I've never heard housies before. I love that.
I say it all the time. Like, there's, a house person is a housie, like, they have a roof over their head. So when I say that out here, people, they're like, yeah, the housies. But I kind of feel like I'm like 1930s New York when I say that for some reason. Like, hey, the housies. You're like, but it's just our way of, like, instead of saying something rude or something, like, it's just kind of, it fits, it's not disrespectful in any way. It works.
Yeah. Okay, folks, now's the time for questions. Otherwise, we're just going to shoot the shit, as they say.
Yes, say that one more time. I like that. Curse, Mark, curse.
Shit. Well, I had an uncle that used to swear a lot, and it was just, like, you do it with some class. You know what I mean? It's an expression of how you talk, right? Him, it was just stupid. And that really, and so I try my hardest, but people to know when I get on a rant here, I will cuss. So let's see.
I like it.
So Addie asked 2 things. 1, what are your pronouns? And 2, if given the chance, would you move somewhere else?
I go by she, her, Couper. Yeah, I'm the only lesbian left in San Francisco, I always say. But yeah, just and if I had a choice to move somewhere else, I would still choose San Francisco. I love my city with all my heart. It just, they're doing some fucked up shit and not paying attention. But soon I think that'll change, and I think that when it does, Mark, in the YouTube, the interview you said that we did together. I said, about my footprints, like, are embedded in the streets of San Francisco. You know what I mean? And I want my footsteps to be there and feel like I am, like I belong, and I belong here. It just, they're making it harder to exist, but this is my heart,
Derek, who is a moderator in the chat, who homeless in Oakland. We also did a video of Derek. He just made a statement that he has masks. If you need masks, he'll come bring them to you because you're just a bar away.
And I can always use a mask. And one of the things, real quick, is that with my GoFundMe that I have, I use that money to buy things for folks, like tents, sleeping bags, things like and then medical supplies, so that I can continue to help people. So I've gotten some masks donated, but I'm handing them out. Like, I just handed out a whole stack of them just right before I got on video with you. So because they're not letting you in the stores now without a mask on.
Right.
So, but the stores aren't giving out masks for people to have to go into the stores. So so if you don't have a mask, you can't eat. You can't get something. You can't. You know what I mean? So I'm always down for any kind of donations. It always helps for sure.
Derek is just a BART ride away, and you guys are both part of the group. And C. Lamore asks, if hotels are not the answer, what is?
I think that we have San Francisco has money and there's funding. It's just they're not using it. And with the Prop C money that is now just in litigation and sitting there, millions of dollars. I think that, and there's so many vacant homes in San Francisco, thousands and thousands, just sitting there, properties sitting there with nobody in them. Like, San Francisco needs to check itself and realize, like, they could use what's in their environment to help people. They could have been helping people this whole time, but they chose not to. And I wish that's the only thing I could think of, that, like, the housing situation here, there shouldn't be so many parameters to get into just housing. Like, fucking help people. You know what I mean? Like, stop playing games and help people. Ask them what they need. Put them in what they need individually, but case by case. Make it that people matter and that they have a safe place to be and belong.
Yeah.
Because we could have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, it did. Knowledge Seeker asks, do you have any water or cooking in your RV?
Uh, I have a stove that I use, like a basic butane stove. I can't use my thing. I'm worried about the propane line. I think it got ruptured a little bit, but but I have no power or anything in my RV either. So other than like I just got an inverter recently, but water, no, I haven't filled up the tank or anything because I don't know if it's gonna work. So I'm living like I have this structure, but I bring water in, and I cook on my little stove, that I get, butane for, and I get power off my battery and I recharge my batteries, so yeah, but it does run, but
yeah, my Slim Clampton asks, "What are your three wishes?" He's taken my line. What are your three wishes?
Yeah. I think that all in all, I think that I just want things to be fair, okay, and that everyone starts off with the equalness and have a fair chance at life, no matter what it is that they're doing. Because once you're equal and you're fair, your steps and your choices are yours after that, and you do what you want with it. You either can thrive or you can not. So for it to be a fair shot for everyone. Two, like I've said before, that I wish that heroin and fentanyl didn't exist, and it's affecting people's addictions and or the things that their need for that. I wish I could take away that craving that they have for that. I myself don't partake in that kind of thing, and I work in harm reduction. So, but I just see people dying around me, and people hurt. Don't like it. If for that to be non-existent. And then three, like I've said before, was to be inside.
Yeah.
I would love to be inside and live a little more normal after all this time.
Yeah. You brought up something, and just before we went live, I happened to notice LA Times has a story, and I wasn't able to read it all, so I only got a bit of it. But because of the disruption in the supply chain, which has happened for lettuce and TVs and everything else, it's also happened to illegal drugs. So you got to be extra careful if you're an addict or if you know an addict, that because drug addicts are going to mix whatever. They're gonna use Drano like the president said or something, right? And with what's going on, when you're addicted to drugs, it becomes like air. You need drugs like you need air. It's not like you can just stop like that. But now with the supply chain, people really need to pay attention because they're going to overdose because they're going to be cutting the dope with crap, and it's very scary.
And one of the things with that is that people aren't knowledgeable and that what could be in those drugs. Like one of my acquaintances of mine, that she had got some pills or something from someone. Well, when she took them, it wasn't the normal effect that she had because whoever it was made the pills and it had fentanyl in it, and she was knocked out for a couple of days. And so like she doesn't do fentanyl, so it affected her in a negative way. Like luckily she didn't die, but like they're doing things and putting things in stuff that so you don't know what's in what is what. You know what I mean? Right. So and then people that they think that they can smoke this or do this. Well, we're having so many more overdoses and deaths right now. It's mind blowing. And then also with people being put the housing that they're putting people in. They're putting people in rooms by themselves or whatever. Well, they're using alone instead of being in a group. So now there's no one there to Narcan if they happen to OD. So because it's all one person, one room, well, people are dying right now because of that. Because there's nobody there to save their life. And so that's another issue that is huge concern, Um, yeah. So just be careful what you're doing. Test it if you happen to be doing, but test it. There's
Yeah.
strips. There's things. Keep yourself safe, but don't ever use alone. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if possible.
Now, somebody asked, "Is it cheap to live in an RV?" And I'm gonna take this opportunity. There's a difference between full-time RVers, nomadic lifestyle, and homeless people. So somebody
Yeah.
that lives in their RV that's homeless, they're not doing it to save money. They're doing it because they don't have any other choice because they can't afford an apartment. There is a
Yeah.
small percentage of people. I mean, it's very popular on YouTube, van life,
Yeah.
RVers, people living in their car as a choice to save money. They aren't homeless. They can go to an ATM anytime they want and go and rent an apartment, right? So true
Yeah.
homelessness is absence of choice. So, Daniel, thank you for the question. I mean, I think that's a good lead in to what's the difference between, because Couper is homeless. She is parked on the side of the street, but she would rather be inside. It's, as she said, it's a metal tent, right? It's better than being outside in a tent, but it's, whoa, not even close to being inside an apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the thing is to live in an RV. Yeah. It's, well, especially like my situation, it's not normal because, you know, most people can, you know, they used all of the things that are in the RV. It's like a little mini apartment. It's like a castle to me, even though I can't use everything properly and I don't have, you know, the right way to run my lights and stuff, but it is a huge, gigantic difference between being in a tent. And there's ways it can be cheaper because, I mean, even though I don't have a refrigerator that works, I still make it, you know, I still go get groceries. I just get ice, you know, so there's all these little things that I'm making. I use what's in my environment, you know, and there is great ways to live cheaply. And when you're homeless, and you've been unhoused for a minute, you learn how to cut corners and save money here and get the things. I always say you can want things and not have them, you know, because those things will always be there. But like, so that's why I had to get real with myself. And do I need this or do I want it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's ways to save money, and yeah.
It's funny, right when we started the van life, there's a gentleman, Scott Punk Oil, alternative living. He lives in his van, and he's always telling everybody, "Go live in your van, live in your van." It's not for me. I can't do it, but you know. Then he shows up. And for those of you telling people to move, it's funny when I do a video of somebody in Los Angeles, they say, "Get out of LA." When I do a video of somebody in Kansas, they say, "Get out of Kansas." There's no perfect place. Where are they going to get to, right? This happened the other day, right? Somebody said, "Well, Walmart's hiring." Okay, let's do the math. Minimum wage is $12, right? When you get that monthly paycheck minus taxes, do you think there's enough for an apartment, for food, for a mobile phone? Now you're homeless, right? You gotta, if you don't shower, the coworkers are gonna go like, "Man, that person smells." You're not gonna keep the job very long, are you? So this idea that, oh, they can just move. Yeah, let's say Couper saved up enough for bus fare, right? And now she's in Wichita, Kansas, homeless. What good is that? And people want to be by where they feel comfortable. And, you know, I prefer Los Angeles. I live in a small city. There's no jobs here. There's no jobs here. So, like, there's this give and take. Well, right now, because of coronavirus, there's no jobs anywhere. So, we're winding down from our hour. Anything else that you'd like to say, Couper? It's all yours. Open.
What did you say?
Anything you'd like to talk about? How would you like to end?
You know, one of the things that I think is really important in all this social distancing and all the things that is happening in our world right now is that don't forget to give a fuck about people. You know what I mean? Know your neighbor. You know, like, give a fuck about who is next to you, around you. If someone's a housey and you see them in trouble, help them. You know, or introduce yourself. And also for folks that are scared to approach people because they're unhoused, we're not aliens. We're human. We're just having a little hiccup in our life, and we tend to forget that caring aspect of ourselves, and because people are too busy on their phones or too busy doing this, like people don't just stop to check on people anymore, and we need to get that back in our hearts, because we need to care. I always say, to give a fuck about somebody, you have to, like, stop being in your own self, whatever. If you see someone that needs help, help them. Don't walk by them. Help them and make them matter. Make them feel like they matter, because so many times as being unhoused, we feel so far away from society because we're looked down upon so much. And I'm trying to stop that stigma, and like, we are all human. When people find out I'm homeless, they're like, "What? What do you mean?" Because I don't look homeless. What I mean? They feel, "You don't look homeless." Well, what is that? Most people are a paycheck away from being homeless right now. You know what I mean? And you don't know who is who. Treat people with respect and dignity. You know what I mean? And don't judge. Like, ask before you judge.
Yeah.
If there's something you want to know about someone, ask them. You know what I mean? But human kindness is what I really want to bring out, because I see so many people out here, their hearts are broken by their city, by their society, and what people think about them, when they're all actually, most folks are decent motherfuckers, and I just want people to stop getting their heart broken, what I mean, by just because of someone else's thoughts of them,
Yeah. Perfect. Everybody, the first link down below, and I've been sharing it in the chat, is Couper's GoFundMe. Go hit it. She can use help, and she uses the money to go help other people. I know Couper personally. I have been in her RV, and she is a person worthy of support. So hit her GoFundMe. Thank you, Couper. Thank you very much for spending Sunday night with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, and thank everyone for watching, and just remember to care, and remember, like, use your heart and your mind and your smile, and it can make someone's day.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh yeah, one last thing. Homeless Youth Alliance, Mary Howe, I want to give her a little shout out, because she is helping the youth of our city, and an important part of our city, and so check out her. Check out Mary Howe.
I put up. I'm thinking about having her do an interview, and I did put up her interview. I don't know if you remember. I went up because you recommended. It was you that got me up there. So hopefully, cool. Well, you have a good night, Couper.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I apologize for the start, how we had some technical problems. But that, yesterday, I don't know if you saw, Mr. Beast did one of the coolest things I've ever seen for charity. He did a rock, paper, scissors live tournament, and there were some technical issues. But, that's what makes YouTube so cool. To the person that said the mic was screeching too much, thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully I was able to turn it down. I appreciate that feedback. To everybody that has spent some time with us tonight, when I'm interviewing and there was some audio issues, when I was talking, there was an echo, and it was hard to think. So I wasn't able to acknowledge anybody that has been donating. Thank you if you have. And we're going through a hard time right now. As Couper said, give a fuck. Give a fuck about your neighbor, right? Kindness. We need, kindness has to really, really, we've got to care. And I see so many people that are hurting. And remember that many of us, we're scared to raise our hand. We're humans, and we don't like saying we're different, that we're hurting. So there's people around you that are putting on a mask, they're putting on a happy face, but they are hurting. So pay attention to those around you. And if you're hurting, it's okay to say that you're hurting. You know, being positive is important. It really is. But also being honest is very important. And we can't be positive all the time. There's a lot of wonderful people that do the positive message. You know what? They cry at times. You know, they're depressed at times. Everybody is. And it's okay to be human and share it, because that's how we know to give a fuck, right? So thank you, everybody, for another wonderful Sunday night. Hopefully next week, I might do this during the week, so I will announce in the community section, but hopefully in the next week, a friend of mine is an emergency room doctor in New York City, and we're trying to get her to do a live chat, and hopefully she will. So you guys, be safe.